Hello everyone, this is Dark Nadia. I'm here today to share with you guys a vision that I've had. It actually inspired me to make my first YouTube video due to the fact that I'm a modern day oracle. I always have tons of visions given to me by the Father, Yahweh, and I decided today to make my first YouTube video. When I say Dark Nadia, it doesn't mean anything satanic or nothing along that nature. We just know that there's lots of dark matter out there in the universe, and from the center of darkness is where life was created. So let me get into my video right quick and share my vision with you guys, and I'll make it as speedy as possible. As I said, this is my first video, and I want to share with you guys this vision that the Lord has given to me. Like I said, I'll skip to the end of it, so let me just get to it. Alright, at the end of this vision, it was about my son. His name is Storm. It stands for Strong, Talented, Organized, Revolutionary Males, and I'm originally from Chicago. My son is there now, and this is where this dream actually took place. I was in Chicago with family members. We were throwing a birthday party. And my mother, I guess she said something wrong to my son. He stormed out the door, pretty upset, and he's 12 right now. So when I went to go get him and retrieve him to make him come back home, my stepfather was going after him with me, and I'm like, no, don't, because he's going to hide. So let me go retrieve my own son. So he went back in the house, and I saw my son, and he ran into my arms, and I remember I just embraced him so tightly. I just grabbed him, and the police just rode up on us, and I didn't know why, but anyway, they were telling me that they were going to arrest my son. He's only 12 years old, so immediately I held on to him tight, and I said, no, what did he do? And this cop, it was two cops, they were both Europeans, a male and a female, and they explained to me that my son had public disturbances. They said the first time his public disturbance was on the playground or something. He was on the swing, and I guess he got into a little scuffle with one of the children there, and that was his first police activity. And I was like, what, do you guys have cameras now at the playground to know exactly who did what to whom? And so he was like, okay, but another day, ma'am, he was walking down the street and he said something to somebody. And my son's like, Mom, it was this guy. He was giving me a mean look. And I just asked him, what are you looking at? And the police just automatically had told me this is my second warning. And he was looking at my eyes, and I was still holding him very tightly. And then the third encounter was just like when I was telling about the dream, my mom had made him upset, so he ran out the house. And I guess when he ran out the house, it was an older male or something out there, and he probably had said something to the male. I don't really remember because it was a dream, and I wasn't really there. I just remember my son looking up at me and said, Mom, this guy has said something to me, and I was just upset, so I just told him to leave me alone, don't look at me like that. And the police rode up on me and asked me my name, and they said this is my third violation, and they told me they was going to arrest me. So he said he was running home, and I grabbed him, and I said, no, you're not taking my baby. He's only 12 years old. You can't do this. And so after that point, the police was like, all right, well, if we don't arrest him, we're going to give you a ticket. I said, fine, just give me the ticket then for my son. So the police gave me the ticket, and when he gave it to me, he was going over it, like from start to bottom of the ticket. So first he explained to me, he was like, all right, well, since this is third citation and we're not going to arrest him, we're going to charge you guys $700, no, $600, let me be correct. It was 6 and 2 zeros. He was like, I'm going to charge you guys $600, and it's to be paid in 3 days. And I said, we don't have $600 to pay you within 3 days. And he was like, well, and then he went to the bottom of the ticket, and it said if the fine wasn't paid within 3 days, that my 12-year-old son was going to be incarcerated for the year, and that on the bottom of the ticket, before I made it to the bottom of it to look at it, the cop was just, he was, like I said, the white cop was like kind of racist. He was just saying, oh, okay, well, if you get, I know how y'all niggers are, how y'all is 3 days from now is the first of the month, so y'all should be able to pay the money with y'all first of the month check. And at the bottom of the ticket, it had the pyramid with the all-seeing eye on the bottom. And I looked, and that's when he actually handed it to me, because when he was explaining it to me, he had it in his hand. And I said, how you gonna give me a ticket with a satanic pyramid on it and an all-seeing eye. I said, we ain't accepting the satanic ticket. He would look at me and he started laughing. He said, well, if your son don't pay it or you don't pay it in 3 days, your son will be eating lunch with us. So I'm still holding my son very tightly, and I had told him, I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a lawyer. You're gonna have to contact one of my lawyers. I'm just gonna have them to contact you guys because something's up. I'm not a Satanist, and I'm not releasing my son to you guys, nor am I paying this. And he said, well, I'm just going to arrest your son right now. And I said, no, you said you gave us 3 days, and I already got the ticket. I said, so I'm going to still have my lawyer to contact you. And he started to approach us like he was going to snatch my son out of my arms. And the woman, she was basically at my side. So I told my son to run towards the house, and I ran with him. Now, when we ran to the house, we went through the back door, and the cop was outside of the door because he chased us, both of them, the male and female officer. And basically, he had just told me, well, if you don't give us your son right now, we're going to use brutal force by any means necessary to retrieve your son. And if you get in the way, you too. I said, brutal force? My son is only 12. He did not commit a crime. He said public disturbance was his crime. And I said, but nah, y'all not locking him up in no satanic jail because you handed me a satanic ticket. You're not taking my son. And then I said, this is going to be an uproar about this. And the cop had made the suggestion. I said, it's too many black people on the street right now. If you snatch my 12-year-old son out of this house, I will go tell these people on the block, and it will be an uprising. And then the cop had made some smart gesture. So basically, I slammed the door on him, and he was bamming on my door. Basically, he was going to break it in. So I ran through the front of my house, and I started going to the block where all the people was. It was a summer day outside. I don't know if it was 2014, but it seemed like it was this year. And I told them, I said, hey, these cops handed me a satanic ticket, and I showed them. I said, they're going to hurt me and my children. They're going to use brutal force, any means necessary. He's only 12 years old. Would you guys please help me now? It was a lot of gang bangers on the block, you know, you little young black boys. And it was older people. So this woman came up to me and said, what's going on? What's going on? I explained to her again, like, help me, please. They're at the back door now kicking it in. My kids are inside the house. They're trying to snatch my son out the house. So the boys, it was a group of them, they ran over to the back of the house with us and the police. And as the police officer saw the group of guys running up on him, he said this. He was like, oh my God, we have started the holy war. The race war has started here in America. He was like this on his walkie-talkie. He's like, we need backup. The holy war has started here in America, the racial war. And he proceeded to shoot one of the little children that was like between the ages of 12 and 15 in the head, who ran up. And yes, he was a gangbanger, but these are still our young boys. He shot him in the head, and he proceeded to go after another one. And long story short, we killed those 2 cops. Now, this will make me know it was a vision because he mentioned the holy war and the race war. And we shot the 2, and he shot at us. And then we, like I said, we killed the 2 white cops. Now, after we did this, like I said, my son was inside the house. So as we were coming from the back of the house, now the group of us to the front, my son was outside. Now, I was his pastor. He was an older guy. He was a black male. He put the Bible up to my son's chest, and he was saying, come, the children of Israel. This is our Exodus. And he kept saying, this is our Exodus. And I heard this music. It sounds so beautiful. And this guy, when he was speaking and preaching, like I said, he took my son, put the Bible on his chest. I heard this music start to play. And I had to walk through a large crowd to get to the middle where my son was, where the pastor had the Bible on his chest. And basically he was saying, like I said, children of Israel, come. This is our Exodus. God is with us. The war has started here in America. And it was a black guy. He was really, really, really dark, like way darker than I am. He said, the pastor was like, he said, don't be ashamed of your blackness. You are Nubian. Rich as pure as the blood. And then he saw somebody else who was a little darker than me. He pointed to him. He said, you You come from the land of kings. Us black people, don't be ashamed of who you are. The Lord is on our side, and we were walking in multitudes, like as we was walking up and preaching, like a block or two, more and more black people just started flocking to us and following us. And like I said, this music was so beautiful that I retrieved my son from the pastor. I took his hand, and I was just jumping and laughing and singing. And like I said, with the music, it just seemed like my spirit was so free that I didn't care if I died. I didn't care what was to happen. I just knew this was the moment my soul's been waiting for. Our exodus out of America, out of Babylon. The pastor was preaching like, come. This is our exodus out of Babylon. Like Moses when he delivered the children of Israel from Pharaoh. This is our time. We are now leaving America. And then my cell phone rang and woke me up out of my vision. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I know this was a vision given to me by God. I didn't see no other little children marching with us at that moment, like little babies, because I had little babies in the house, and they wasn't with us. Just oddly, my son was in the past with the Bible on his chest, and like it was just a strong vision to me, dream, because when I woke up, I started crying. I started saying, Yahshua, which is Jesus. I was like, save me, thank you for this vision. I've been waiting my whole life for this. Are you telling me this year I'm going to have to take a trip to Chicago where my son is there now and something's going to happen? I'm kind of unsure, but all my visions always come true. But I just knew something was wrong with the system because it was like the all-seeing eye. It was on that ticket with the pyramid on the bottom. And my son, like he explained to me before that last incident encounter, he said he never had police contact, but yet they must have had cameras up and around wherever we were, to whereas they could monitor his activity, and this was the third thing he got into or said something against somebody, and they were just going to arrest my 12-year-old and lock him up in some satanic prison or jail for a year. And I was like basically over my dead body. I told both of them officers, y'all will have to kill me first, or I'm going to kill y'all. Y'all not locking my little boy up. He's 12 in no satanic prison. And I could tell the look on their face when he was calling for backup. To most, all the holy wars started. And I just knew it was something. So that inspired me to make my first video. I'm actually probably going to make a series of a few more today. I've been keeping track of my journals. I have a website called The Last Echo Movement, and I go by Echo on there, which is basically like the last stand, the last echo in reference to this is the last trumpet of God to awaken our people into the knowledge of who we are. So, I just want to share that with you guys right quick. Today is my birthday, January 29th. So, I just thought it was even more something like I've been waiting my whole life for this holy war. And I know it's overseas, but I mean here in America, I've been waiting my whole life for this exodus where God deliver us out of Babylon. And for it to happen the way that it did in my vision, it just made me wake up today with so much. It made me feel very hopeful. Like, thank you, God, for giving me this vision on my birthday. Like, that if he's going to come for us. And I know us, we have to wake up. We need to become in the knowledge of who we are and God. And I just want to share that insight with you guys. Thank everybody for who may listen to it. I hope you subscribe. Like I said, I'm a modern day oracle. I go by Dark Nadia here, and my real name is on my YouTube page as well as my Facebook. And like I said, if anyone want to check out my online newspaper, The Last Echo Movement, I write about a lot of things like visions, dreams, the dangers of fluoride, aluminum, just basically health and history. And I'm very broad with my research. I don't limit it to just one or two things because my visions aren't about one or two things. I know the whole world, everything ties into another, especially under the satanic society that we live in today. So I just want to wish you guys a happy new year, and you'll see more videos from me. This, like I said, is my first one, and God just told me to make this video, make this video, make this video. And I know our time here is short. Soon enough, we'll be delivered out of the hells of Babylon into our land that was promised to us and our ancestors. I don't know if it would be before the rise of the Antichrist, since I know he's in our midst today. I can't say. because it seemed obvious in my vision that we lived under the Antichrist rule for them to hand me a ticket with an all-seeing eye on it and a pyramid. And I knew right then and there that they was not going to take my baby to no satanic prison. Not at 12. I don't care how old he was, and I was willing to die and start an uproar in our community like, wake up, help me, help us, save our children. We can't let them do this to us. We can't let them just come and sweep our boys by the paddy wagons, household by household, just stand there and freaking watch. Because once they do that, they, like Tupac said, once they got you locked up, they got you trapped. You better off being shot up. And I'm so serious. I'd rather just die right there fighting, me and my little ones, than to be locked up in some satanic prison where they'll do God's know what's to us under the dictatorship and rule of the beast. So thank you for all watching it. As I said, this is my first video. I hope to do more. Well, I'm gonna post some more today. I'm gonna read some more visions, but I'm gonna keep this a little short. And God bless you all, and keep me in your prayers.